can still be dangerous. In France, the health ministry has issued a heatwave plan for elderly care homes. They don't want a repeat of 2003's hot weather when 15,000, mostly old people, died.
I put a small wet cloth around my neck, and there isn't much more I can do. I don't move around. But at our age, we don't move too much. We just have to wait for it to be over. There is no other solution.
But forecasters suggest it won't get cooler till early next week. Rory Challens, Al Jazeera.
Right, we can speak to Claire Nullis now, who's the spokeswoman for the UN World Meteorological, I'm having problems with that word today, organisation. She's joining us live from Geneva. Thank you very much indeed. Presumably, we should be expecting more of these heat waves or extreme weather events now that we are definitely, and the temperatures in the globe are rising definitively.
That's right. It's obviously too early to say, with 100% certainty that this particular heat wave is caused by climate change because it's still ongoing. We're in the middle of it. But it's absolutely consistent with what we expect from climate change. We expect that heat waves will become more frequent, more extreme, so intense, and they will start earlier and they will finish later. And so what we're seeing now with temperatures of 45 degrees in France, it's June. We shouldn't be seeing temperatures like this in June. It's
right.
Too early in the year.
And given the commitments that have been made under the Paris Climate Accord, which of course the Americans have walked away from, I mean, the commitment is to reduce the rising temperatures by 1.5 by 2025. I mean, that doesn't seem to be enough.
The Paris Agreement makes provisions to keep temperatures to under 2 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial era by the end of this century. So we're not talking about 2025, the end of this century. And if at all possible, to go further and to keep them to less than 1.5 degrees Celsius above. At the moment, we've got about a 1 degree Celsius temperature increase. So, we're getting there rapidly. The UN Secretary General is extremely alarmed about this, as are many other world leaders, as is the rest of the UN system. So he's convened a climate action summit in September to really try to ramp up the ambition and to say, not just to government leaders, but to business leaders, to civil society, hey guys, we need to do much more. And as part of the preparations for this, there's actually a meeting taking place in Abu Dhabi this weekend, starts on Sunday, and it will be attended by the UN Secretary General, just again to try to galvanize people into action, to say we have the Paris Agreement, we now really need to implement it.
Right, because it seems as though there's actually an urgency that's needed. This is actually a situation of emergency.
It is very urgent. At the moment in Europe, we're seeing the impacts on temperature increases. It's not just temperatures. It's the impact of climate change on water resources, on sea level rise, on our environment, on a whole batch of issues, which really will affect the future that that we live and that generations in the future will live.
And what about now? It's actually affecting us now because the people of France, Italy and Spain in particular are enduring the highest temperatures that they've seen for a very long time, if ever.
That's right. Some people seem to think, climate